Well, that excitement lasted exactly 1 week. The New York Jets fall to the Bengals 27-12. Here are my top 5 takeaways. Jets! Welcome to Jets Talk. My name is Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, this lasted exactly 1 week. A great come-from-behind victory against the Browns. 1 week later, getting banged up by the Cincinnati Bengals. This is just a very, very frustrating way to lose. The Jets were not in this game at all. But let's jump into it. Let's talk about my top 5 takeaways from today. And starting this off, this is going to be Jordan Whitehead and John Franklin Myers. In the span of, I think it was 3 plays, these two made some really boneheaded decisions. John Franklin Myers in particular had it was third down. We had the drives locked up. The Jets were getting the ball back, and he decided he was going to push Joe Burrow to the ground after he threw the ball and wound up landing on him. Now, it wasn't an egregious hit by any stretch of the imagination, but it was absolutely a late hit and absolutely the right call to throw the flag there, and it extended the drive, and just 2 plays later, Jordan Whitehead comes up to lay the boom on the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver instead of wrapping up, and he winds up, instead of giving up a big play, gives up a long 56-yard touchdown. And it is just so frustrating to see this because the Jets were in this game up until that point, and it was still early in the game, so I shouldn't even really say like in the game, but the Jets were like keeping it close. This feels very reminiscent to like the Ravens bomb to Bateman. Like the safeties have kind of been an Achilles heel for the New York Jets for what feels like a few years now. And I'm going to springboard that with Lamarcus Joyner. If it weren't for the Whitehead non-wrap-up and his dropped interception, Lamarcus Joyner, this dude's been bad all season long. Like all season long, meaning 3 games. Like really not good. He had another egregious penalty where he launched his body at a defenseless wide receiver and then wound up giving up a touchdown as well. This guy, I wanted to bring him back because I thought the veteran leadership might help. Maybe going back to the safety position after being in the nickel role his previous 2 seasons was going to help. But this dude hasn't played safety at a high level in 4 years now. For me, I would much rather lose with Ashton Davis than lose with an old Lamarcus Joyner. And, maybe he provides some veteran leadership or something, but I like the athletic upside of Davis far more than I like really anything of Joyner at this point in time. So this one's a little bit frustrating for me. I'd like to see him get a little less playing time. In terms of our offensive side of the ball, George Fant and Connor McDermott. Fant wound up going out with a knee injury at one point in the game, and McDermott wound up filling in for him. And both guys were absolutely terrible on the left-hand side. Like, we are in a world of hurt when Zach Wilson eventually comes back. Fant has been a liability at left tackle, and this dude's been looking for a contract, and this is probably why Joe Douglas has not given it to him. He doesn't want to overpay out of, not out of fear, but, he doesn't want to pay when the Jets don't have a solution at left tackle and be kind of held over a barrel for us. I don't want to call him a subpar player, but a guy that's not performing up to the standard that he, we thought we were going to get from him when we played him all of last year. So for me, when I'm looking at the left tackle position, it's George Fant and Dwayne Brown, and those two are competing against each other. And then on the right-hand side, I'm leaving Max Mitchell in. This guy has been the highest, I think he's the highest graded offensive lineman for this rookie class. If not, he's higher than the top few guys taken in the draft. So for those of you claiming, the Jets should have gone tackle in the top 10, there's not really a whole lot of substance to that because the other offensive linemen that were drafted early have not really been playing well anyway. So I'm not sure that necessarily would have helped us here aside from being like a long-term, answer at the position. But George Fant has absolutely been a liability, and I don't know what happens with him. He's really going to have to turn it around. It's amazing how I wind up flip-flopping on a player like so fast. It's frustrating because he was so steady Eddie for so long, and then guys get hurt. He flips from one side to the other side, and he's versatile, and I like that. But I like it as a swing tackle and as backup. I don't want him starting full-time, moving forward. That brings me to the quarterbacks. So Joe Flacco winds up going 28 of 52. That's a 54% completion percentage for 285 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. And he wound up getting sacked, I think it was 3 times. I could be wrong on that number. But Joe Flacco looked like a statue back there. And this is like the second or third game in a row now where we're seeing 50-plus attempts from Joe Flacco. That's not really a winning formula if you're the New York Jets. You have two bell cows in Breece Hall and Michael Carter, and it feels like we were getting at least a little bit of a push. Like, utilize these guys a little bit more, because allowing the pass rush to tee off on your quarterback is just not working. We should have, the minute Trey Hendrickson started peeling off George Fant early on in this game, we should have had a running back. We should have had a tight end helping out on the sides to try and protect our quarterback, and then allow Garrett Wilson, allow Corey Davis, allow Elijah Moore to kind of work around the field and let him get the ball, let him throw it that way. I don't think leaving 5 offensive linemen in when they're clearly overmatched on the tackle position was the right way to go about things. Now, luckily, Zach Wilson, it sounds like, may be back for this upcoming week against the Steelers. We'll see how that winds up going. But I'm nervous to get Zach back. And as far as like an offensive line protection standpoint kind of goes, now from a quarterback perspective, the mobility that we're going to be getting back is massive. Now, there's still going to be question marks about his arm and the way he's throwing the ball, because there were some comments earlier in training camp about him not taking a little bit of zip off the ball and having some touch passes and things of that nature. So he will get that opportunity, and he will be able to learn, as he goes throughout the season. And I expect some rust for sure, but at least the Steelers are more of a game to kind of prep you before you wind up playing a team in Miami that just wound up beating Buffalo today. So Miami winds up leading the division. I don't know. We're getting Zach back right when we need him. We need a spark, and we need it quick, because this has been really, really frustrating to watch. And now from a coaching perspective, mental errors, things that are shooting us in the foot. John Franklin Myers, late hit on the quarterback. That is a mental error. That is an egregious penalty that you cannot have. That needs to be coached out of him. Jordan Whitehead wrapping up. That is fundamentals. And right after that play, you wind up having the blow up with Quinnen Williams and the defensive line coach on the sidelines. I don't know what that's about. I haven't seen what it is about. I don't know if it's been brought up yet, so you can let me know in the comment section if you guys have seen that. But I don't know if that's like a rotational issue that Quinnen has, and he's mad that he's getting pulled off the field on important downs. I don't know if he was protecting John Franklin Myers in terms of people being like, oh, we could have gotten off the field there, and he's getting, just kind of protecting his teammate. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but I don't like seeing players and coaches wind up going at it. And Robert Saleh wound up going over to the defensive lineman and kind of talking to him, calming him down. The players pushed him apart. Hopefully that's kind of the end of it, but I'd be lying if I said this doesn't feel like the same old Jets. Like this feels exactly like the same old Jets, and I'm really hoping that's not the case. And what's pissing me off is all these friggin' catchphrases. Yeah, 60%. Oh, all gas, no brake. Oh, I don't know, whatever, like taking receipts, like this stuff. I need you to put up or shut up. I'm done with the sick, the cute little lines and tags and everything like that. Start backing it up, because these are coachable mistakes that you could be preventing on the field. And situations like, even LaFleur on the offensive side of the ball, throwing the ball that many times with Joe Flacco. Yes, you're down, but like, there's got to be some semblance of balance. I don't know. It feels frustrating. It feels like we're not getting what we need to from this coaching staff. And let me be clear, I'm not calling for any heads to be rolling. I think stability at the coaching positions are absolutely paramount. I do not want to move on from these coaches. I do think they are going to be the right guys, but they need to start at least getting us looking competitive, because there's no reason why the Giants should be out competing us. There's no reason why the Jaguars and the Lions and all these other teams that were really bad at the beginning of the season or last year, like the Jets have a ton of talent on this team. There's zero reason why we shouldn't be hanging around in some of these games. So that's kind of where I'm at this point. I'm frustrated. I know it's, a team that was just in the Super Bowl last year, but this just feels like we didn't get the effort we really need to. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Are you frustrated with the coaching staff, with the players? What's going on at One Jets Drive and the Jets, locker room in general? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets. Jets!